Hey guys, welcome to a fun library themed video. I saw Tay from Tales and Treats with Tay share this tag a while ago, like a week and a half ago, and I was like, I want to do that. I love the library. I want to answer these questions. I want to share a library haul. It's just a combination of all the great things. So there's 7 questions that I'm going to go over. I'm going to leave Tay's channel linked below. I'm also going to leave the original tag video linked below. But first, today's video is actually a sponsored video, and I thought this would be perfect for a library video because our sponsor is Teddy Blake, which is a beautiful purse designer company. And what do you guys look for when you look for a purse? Because for me, it has to hold some books. And when they asked which one I wanted them to send to me, I was like, I need a big one. I need a big one to hold a bunch of books. So I got this beautiful purse. This is the Bella Palmoletto in camel brown, and she's nice and big. I'm so excited. We're gonna break this in by going to the library here shortly. What I really like about this one is it has 2 zippers, so you can have some of your stuff secured, you know, like you need your purse and everything secure, but then it has this nice big open pouch where I could easily just grab my book out and read for a few minutes while I'm like waiting for the doctor and stuff like that. And it has these like snaps here on the side that can expand the purse. So this is going to be so good for our library haul here, the trip that we're going to take shortly. And you can either use the handles or it comes with a strap if you need a strap for all your books. I might use this later. I'll decide. We will fill this up yet. In addition to the bag that I got, they also have a host of other options on their website, and from what I can tell right off the bat here, this is a really good quality bag. I will have all the information for Teddy Blake linked below in the description so you can check out their bags and grab one for yourself. Okay, let's go on to the Library Lovers book tag questions, and then we'll head out to the library. Number 1, how often do you visit your local library? Generally once a week. I usually go every Wednesday, or sometimes it's a different day, but like I have a pretty good routine. There's a part of my day on Wednesday when I go to the library. Over the years, it's been different times, different length of time between visits, but I'm definitely in a weekly season. Number 2, are you the type of person who checks out more books than you know you can read, or are you someone who only checks out the exact amount of books you intend on reading before they are all due? You guys saw the purse, right? I definitely check out more books than I can read. I like mood reading and having selection, and I take that enjoyment to the library with me. Even if I get a book out, it doesn't mean I'm going to read it, which can be unfortunate, but I like having options. Number 3, how old were you when you got your first library card? I actually have no idea, but I do remember back when I was younger, I lived in a very small town. We had like maybe 1,000 people in the town. We didn't have our own library when I was young. They built one eventually, but at first it was just a bookmobile. It was I don't know what, it was probably like a truck that was pulling a trailer, and you walked through the trailer to get your books out, which is really cool. I still love that experience and love the idea that people are still out there with like bookmobiles and selling books and stuff like that. I love that. Number 4, do you go to your library looking for a particular book, or do you check out anything that piques your interest? Well, my local library is actually very different. It's in a middle school. So the middle school uses the library as well as like the community. So most of the books are very middle school based. I don't find they have a lot of variety in books, which is fair, but you're in a middle school, I get it. So mostly what I do is I request books, put them on hold, and then pick them up. And then depending how many books I've been checking out lately, I generally have an entire shelf behind the counter that is like Chantel's shelf. That's just how it works out. And our system here in Saskatchewan is so good. You can request books from all over the province and get them shipped to your local library for free. We can have out 100 holds, 100 books out. It's an amazing system and something I'm gonna miss when we move, because I have no idea what the system is like where I'm moving. Number 5, do you use your library to check out just books, or do you also check out DVDs, audiobooks, etc.? I've done puzzles before. I find movies are generally like scratched and don't work. I've tried it a few times. It doesn't usually end well. And now we actually don't even own a disc player anyway. But I do use some digital stuff like some ebooks or some audiobooks. And then my kids have their own cards and they use a ton of audiobooks and ebooks from the library that way. Plus my library has a really cool system, which I'll share the total after we go to the library, where it tracks the value of each book that I check out. So they'll email me a receipt and it'll say, you checked out this many items, the total value of the items was this, you have saved this much money this year so far by going to the library. And I love seeing that number. From what section of your library do you check out the majority of your books? I don't think there is a section. Like, I get books for our homeschool, I get books for my kids, I get books for myself, and that can be anything from like lately like fantasy or classics or Christian fiction, sometimes YA, sometimes middle grade. I feel like I'm all over the map when it comes to the genres that I'm checking out, like nonfiction, fiction, like just everything. Well, not everything, but like a lot of different areas. Number 7. What is your favorite part of using your local library? Well, I kind of already mentioned it, but it's all the money that I save. Like, yes, I do own a lot of books, but I check out a lot of books too and save a lot of money because of that. Okay, that's all for the tag. Now I'm gonna go to the library, take you along a little bit, and then I'll show you what I'll get. Okay guys, I got me a load. Thankfully I didn't have a book as big as that Audubon book that I had to bring back. When I went to pick that up a couple weeks ago, I didn't realize it was oversized. It's a massive book. But I did get a bunch of books and this bag held up perfectly. So now I'm gonna show you what's inside. Weighs a million pounds now though. Okay, lots of variety, like I said, read lots of genres. If you guys have seen my like library hauls or anything on my shelf before, you know this. So I got Mary Oliver's Devotions. I've read some of Mary Oliver's poetry before. I didn't really get it, but I've heard good things about Devotions. So these are selected poems of Mary Oliver. I don't know, there's, you know, like, I don't know, 10-ish from each of her books. So maybe this is the better way to go, because maybe if I read an entire one of her poetry collections, I would actually like about 10 of them. So I'm gonna give it a try. I want to find more poets, especially more modern poets that I like, because most of my favorite poets are dead. So it would be nice to like some. So I got that. I also, this is so funny, I got Steal Like an Artist. The last time I shared a book haul, pretty sure, I got 2 of Austin Kleon's other books, and they were both very dirty. And now this one is also very dirty. Someone in my province requested these books and got them disgusting. So this is 10 Things Nobody Told You About Being Creative. I really love following Austin Kleon on Instagram. He's very inspiring. There's many things that I like about his work. So this is pretty much half text and pictures, and half text and half pictures and drawings and stuff. So I read this a couple years ago. Would like to reread it after I clean it. Oh, this one I wanted to kind of like proof skim for our homeschool. A History of Canada in 10 Maps. Epic Stories of Charting a Mysterious Land. I really don't know. I feel like Canadian history is kind of boring. I know some of it, most of which is boring. And the interesting stuff I've found out since like I was in high school and in education, and they don't teach that stuff at school. So I was curious about this book. I think it might be something we maybe use in our homeschool. Where are the maps? Oh, okay, so the middle section has the maps. So I will kind of look through this, see if it's something we want to use in the next few years. Okay, very different. This, I always say when I do library hauls, I have issues because so often authors' names are covered up. This is The Thief by someone Turner, because they put the sticker right on the author's name. I think this one was maybe for my daughter. She is really struggling to find books these days. She's 13 and a half at this point, and reading like ready for like YA books, but so much of YA content is not great. And now suddenly, even though she's been a fantasy lover for so many years, suddenly she doesn't want to read fantasy, she wants to read like contemporary, and finding like clean YA contemporary stuff is hard. This is not contemporary. I'm not sure if it's just kind of like historical-ish or if there is also fantasy elements. It is by Megan Turner, found the name. So we'll see if she's interested. I remember looking it up after someone recommended it and it sounded interesting to me. And then every time I go to the library, pretty much every time, I get a book that I'm like, I don't remember requesting this book. This is The House of the Scorpion by, once again, name's covered up. Someone farmer. So this one says, Matt was not born, he was harvested. It sounds interesting, but I have no idea why I requested this book, so we'll see if I get to that. This one's for my 10-year-old. Agents of Suit, From Badger to Worse, John Patrick Green. This is a spin-off series from The Investigators, and my son constantly asks when the newest book is going to come out, and this just came out in March, I think. Oh yes, then I got The Lazy Genius Way. I remember reading this years ago, and last month felt like a month where I needed to reread this. I know her one, I think the first chapter is kind of like decide once, and there were just too many decisions in my month where I really needed to reread this. So I'm probably just gonna skim over it this time through. But I don't think I've ever read The Lazy Genius Kitchen. So I'm gonna read or look at least both of these. Hopefully glean some ideas on making life a little easier. Her big thing is be a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. This one says, embrace what matters, ditch what doesn't, and get stuff done. Have what you need, use what you have, and enjoy it like never before. Yeah, just feel like I'm in a stage right now where I need these. And the last book in my purse. Oh yes. So I heard about this book from Angie. Well, I've heard about this book through many different areas, but Angie is the one that made me interested in reading it. I put a hold on it forever and it just came through. It's The Fury. Most of what I've heard, people have been disappointed in this book, but Angie made it sound like this could potentially be a book to solve. I don't really remember now, like it's been months. This is a tale of murder, or maybe that's not quite true. At its heart, it's a love story, isn't it? And I feel like this had, and then there were nun vibes, like a bunch of people on an island and people are dying. And I thought maybe I would try to like read this book and try to do a video attempting to solve the mystery. Thought that might be fun. Not sure with the timing that it has now come out in, if this is the best time to do that or not, but we'll see. I hold my library books loosely, and if I'm in the mood for one and have time for one, then I fit it in as I can. So that's my library haul. Thank you very much to Teddy Blake for sponsoring this video. Like I said, there will be some information in the description and a link for you to check it out. And thanks for hanging out with me today, guys.